Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'll be going over what I bought in the month of May. This is mostly a manga haul, although I do have the one K-pop album in this haul as well. And as has been the case for the most part of the year, my manga hauls will be featuring the titles that I've decided to collect this year. So they tend to go by pretty fast because I'm focusing on collecting a specific list of series. I have 3 orders in this haul. The very first one was a large order from the Crunchyroll store. That's where I tend to buy most of my manga from. And then I have one from Barnes & Noble. They had a buy one, get one 50% off sale on manga. I believe it was in April, although my package didn't arrive for a while, or maybe by the time it arrived I already filmed my haul for April, so I just tacked it onto this month's haul. And then the very last package is from CD Japan. I placed that order in April, but it took a while to ship because there was something in that order that wasn't immediately available, and so it delayed the delivery of that package. But now that all of that's out of the way, I'll just go ahead and start talking through the haul. Most of what I had in my Crunchyroll store order was the Full Metal edition of Full Metal Alchemist. I already started buying Full Metal Alchemist. I found the 3-in-1 editions used at a local bookstore, so I started buying those. I only have 2 volumes of that, so I think volumes 1 through 6 are right here so I can grab them. But this is what it looks like. But after a while, I decided to actually just switch over to the Full Metal editions, and that's what I'm going to be collecting. I already bought one bundle that has volumes 15 through 18 last month, and I went ahead to buy everything else that they had available on the Crunchyroll store. So now I have 16 of the 18 Full Metal editions of Full Metal Alchemist. I'm only missing volumes 1 through 10. I'd show you all of them, but they're pretty heavy, so I'm just going to do an overlay to go through all of them because they're heavy. But I love that these are hardback and they're just so beautiful. I only have volume 2 here on the screen, and I'm just going to pause because I imagine it's going to take a while to show all of them. And yeah, that is Full Metal Alchemist, the very first thing in that Crunchyroll order. And Full Metal Alchemist made up most of that order. There were only 2 other volumes of manga in that order, the very first one being volume 3 of 𝕚𝕚𝕚. This is the final volume of 𝕚𝕚𝕚 that I was missing, and now my collection of the series is complete. I can reread it whenever I get a chance to. I don't know when exactly that is going to be happening because it feels like punishing myself, knowing fully well that this is a series that is likely never going to be completed. But I plan to do a reread of it someday. I'm just really happy that I now have that last volume to complete my collection. This is very comfortable, by the way, the fact that I'm filming right next to my shelf and I can just put stuff on my shelf when I'm done showing it. But the last volume of manga that I had in that package was 𝕍𝕆𝕚𝕚𝕚. So this is a sequel to 𝕍𝕆𝕚𝕚𝕚 from Me to You and follows the story of Kurumi. 𝕍𝕆𝕚𝕚𝕚 is another series that I want to try to reread, and whenever I do reread it, I want to move to this one, although I'm really tempted to read this because I liked Kurumi as a character and I'm just kind of invested in seeing how her romantic plot or romantic storyline is going to play out. So yeah, that is 𝕍𝕆𝕚𝕚𝕚 Soulmate. Second package was the Barnes & Noble package. I just went ahead to complete 2 series that I wanted to complete. The very first one being Classmates. I only had the first volume of this. I went ahead to buy volumes 2 through 6 of Classmates. So the second volume, Sotsugyosei Winter, I think this is when they graduate from high school. Then you have Sotsugyosei Spring. I think this is when they start talking about where they want to go to for college. I feel I'm probably talking out of my ass. I cannot remember what exactly each of the volumes cover. Then I think this Sora and Hara is like a side story, I guess, because it doesn't follow the story of the 2 main characters of Classmates. But that is Sora and Hara, volume 4. Then volume 5 is Occupation to Beloved. Again, you know what? I'm just going to try to stop. I'm going to stop trying to summarize what these volumes cover because I can't remember. Quick Google search will show you what they all cover on Wikipedia. It has all of that information out there. But I remember that 𝕬𝕠𝕟 is meant to be when they finally get back together and they do get married and start living with each other, which is really beautiful. And I'm happy to now have the final the full collection of the series. So that is Classmates, and then I have one shot that someone, a mutual on Instagram, made me buy. I just got tempted by the title. It is called Rooming with Two Lovers, or Rooming with My Two Lovers. So this is a guy that recently broke up with his ex-boyfriend or something like that. He was looking for a roommate because the apartment that he lived in was too expensive for him to rent by himself, and I think this was meant to be like his barber or something that he was complaining to about his predicament, and this barber offered for him to come and live with him. The barber also has a roommate. He gets to the barber's house and finds out that the barber's roommate is actually his ex-boyfriend. And so he starts rooming with the both of them, but they're both interested in him romantically, and so he starts dating the both of them. It's a really stupid story. I read it in one sitting, but it's a really stupid story. Like 3 stars. I wouldn't even recommend it, but yeah, I already have it. This is why you should think twice before you buy shit. Whatever, I now have it, so I'm just gonna keep it. It is actually such a stupid story, but I always do that to myself. I just get tempted by stuff and buy it because it's a one-shot. I need to stop doing that. But yes, that was my rant about that one-shot. And the other series that I bought during the Barnes & Noble sale is the Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. I bought the first volume of this in April. And because it's a short series and I was trying to read it in May as part of the Asian readathon, I just went ahead to buy the rest of the series. And I already did read all of this. I really enjoyed it. It's just a very short, cozy, adorable story. I'm going to talk about it some more in my wrap-up for the Asian readathon. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. If you're looking for something short, sweet, romantic, and cozy to read, I recommend it. It's really cute. That is the Barnes & Noble package. The next package is the CD Japan package. This has just 3 volumes in it. The very first one here is a one-shot, The Culprit of Delayed Delivery. This didn't become available until like 4 weeks after I placed my order, which was why this arrived so late. But this is a one-shot titled Yukidoke no Koi. I read this a long time ago, but I absolutely love and adore this story. It is between a high school student who falls in love with, I can't remember if the teacher was his homeroom teacher, but it was his teacher. And this is not inappropriate or anything. They don't start dating until this boy graduates from high school. So you're totally fine there. The teacher does not take advantage of him or anything. It's just a really heartwarming story and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted a copy of it. It does have a sequel that I really liked as well. I did not find it on CD Japan and I don't know if it ever got a physical print, but I'm going to do a little bit more research to find out if it did, because I would like to own that as well, just because it's a sequel to this. And since I already have this and I like the sequel as well, I would like to have the both of them. So that is Yukidoke no Koi. I recommend it. This is actually a good one-shot. Then I have Cupid Nirakuri. I picked up the second volume of this one in, I can't remember if it was March or April right now. I forgot to pick up the first volume, or maybe I thought the volume I picked up was the first volume and forgot to pick up this one. So I now have this first volume. And the last manga in this package is the second volume of the guy she was interested in. Wasn't a guy at all. This is a GL that has been making waves in the manga space and I just love it. It is so cute. I can't remember if I've talked about this on my channel before, but the summary or synopsis is basically about these 2 girls who really love music, and the more girly girl of them falls in love with this guy that works at a record shop that she goes to, and she thinks that this guy that she's in love with is actually a guy, but she doesn't realize that this is the girl that sits right next to her in her class. So that's why the title is The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All. She doesn't immediately realize that the guy she's interested in is the girl in her class, but the girl in her class realizes that the guy she has a crush on is actually her. So it's really cute. It's not as dramatic as it sounds. It's actually a really cute story. I love it so much. They are so adorable. But that is everything that I got from CD Japan. Then I also have some pre-orders before I go over the K-pop album that I bought. I have the 4th volume of Therapy Game Restart. I really love this mangaka and I'm enjoying this story, so I cannot wait to get into that. It just got delivered yesterday. I need to read it. I was meant to read it last night, but I was too tired and I just could not do it. Then I have the 4th omnibus of Don't Call It Mystery. I'm really enjoying this one. I reviewed the first omnibus, I want to say it was in September of last year in my reading wrap up. I don't really do reading wrap up videos as much anymore, but I am still really enjoying this one. It doesn't really have like a specific plot. It's an episodic crime mystery series, so they focus on one mystery or more in each volume, or sometimes you even have mysteries that span across some multiple volumes. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a good josei series. Probably going to be my favorite josei series of the year. So that is Don't Call It Mystery. And then the final pre-order that I had delivered this month was Innocent by Shinichi Sakamoto. The first volume of this came out in, I want to say it was December of last year, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I cannot wait to get into this. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a really good story. One day when I get a chance to, I'm probably going to talk about it some more, or maybe do a journal spread of it and just go over it in one of my videos. But this is a really good story. If you like stuff, or if you like stories like Berserk that are kind of dark but not necessarily, well, Berserk is a dark fantasy. This isn't really fantasy. It's more of a retelling of the is it French aristocracy? Because it deals with executioners in Paris. And I think the author has just put his own spin of what executioners used to be in that period in France. So it's a really cool story and I'm really enjoying it. Can't wait to read this one. And finally, the K-pop album. This is my very first K-pop album that I will ever buy. I don't really collect K-pop albums or photo cards or stuff like that. I just listen to my music online, and I'm not like starting to collect K-pop albums or anything. That is not something that I do not need another addiction or another money sinking hobby. I bought this one specifically because I love 17. They are my ultimate group. I didn't even say what album I have right here, but this is the 17 Is Right Here album. It's meant to be like a best album, which was why I bought it, because I love 17 as a group. They're one of my favorite K-pop groups, but because this is also a best album, it has a lot of tracks from basically their debut up till now, which is why I wanted to pick it up. This box is really cool. I think it's just such a great box to display, and I'm trying to personalize my space. I like being able to put this on my shelf, and so it's immediately obvious that I'm someone who listens to K-pop, and I just love everything that it comes with. You pop it open, look at how cool that is. You have the photo cards. I have that extra card of Mingyu right there, and then a card of all of them, the lyric book as usual. What is this one? Those are the CDs. It's in 2 parts. Then you have photo books of the teams. If you're familiar with 17, you know they're split into 3 teams. You have the vocal team, performance team, and then the hip hop team. So they all have their own kind of like photo albums. And then you have a poster of the entire group. That is really cool. I'm gonna see if I can put that on my wall. Then you have an album for the entire group. As well as I believe this is just a book that goes over all of the albums that they've released from debut. So yeah, this is a really cool album to be like a best album. I just like how it covers everything that they've done pretty much since they debuted. And I know people do not want to talk about it or admit that this is something that is going to happen, but they're going to start enlisting in the army soon. The sooner you accept it, the better for you. So I just like that they left fans with this before they start enlisting. So yes, that is the final thing that I bought in May that I wanted to go over. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Whatever day you find yourself watching this, make it a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.